Hello YouTube, and welcome from me in the garage where I conduct the vast majority of my reselling work. So I am a reseller. I buy things at car boot sales, charity shops, auctions, anywhere else where there are items selling for a certain amount of money, which I believe I can sell them online again to make some more money. That is a reselling business in a nutshell, and that is what this channel is about to document. So yeah, thanks for joining me. There's some highs and there's some lows in this video. I'm yet to decide what I want the thumbnail to be. So it can either lead with the slightly negative story that I'm going to go through, or we can lead with the more positive of some decent sales and some items that you'll probably be quite surprised at the value they can fetch. But we are going to kick off talking about the slightly negative thing that's happened and just putting a question out there really. So if you're a reseller and you're watching this, I'd be intrigued to know your thoughts in the comments. This response that you just heard beep there has got something to do about it, so bear with me a sec because I'm just going to have a little look at this. You're not going to know any difference because it'll be cut and I'll be straight back, but I'm just going to read this message. Right, yep, I've read the message, which is a response from eBay. If you were wondering what I was talking about, eBay for Business on Facebook, who can be helpful in some situations, but I didn't expect them to be very helpful in this one. So yeah, let's roll with it then. So I sold a pop-up book. If you saw my previous video, pretty sure it was the last video, I actually showed it. So in the sales video, I showed me with this book, saying, you know, this is worthwhile sharing. Do you know what? I might actually just pop the clip here. I'll probably mute it maybe, I don't know, but I'll pop it here and you can see me opening up the pages to make the point to you that it's a pop-up book, and that's why I picked it up, because pop-up books can, you know, retain some value. They're quite sought after, and that is what I was showing in the video. So you can see me open every single page and seeing that there are items on there popping up. Now this morning I got feedback about said book. Not a positive feedback, a negative feedback. Now obviously the feedback model is there on eBay for this very thing. If people are unhappy, disappointed with, in my mind, the service, not necessarily the product, but if they're unhappy with the service that they have received from you as a business, as a seller, because not everyone on eBay obviously has to be a business, but if they're unhappy with the service they received, there's an opportunity for them to say that. Now this buyer didn't contact me, so I didn't have a message from them, I didn't have a returns request, nothing, just straight negative feedback. And I'll pop it up here, but it's in front of me as well so I can read it while you're reading it. Description said very good, highlighting minor damage to spine, but hardly any pop-up feature. Let me start that again. But hardly any pop-up features are functional or intact. I'm not so sure about that. Many ripped and broken pop-up mechanisms. I would say this book is in very poor condition. Now they paid £15 for that book. Why not contact? Why not open a returns request, or at least ask for some money off if they were that disappointed? Now obviously in my opinion on the book, it wasn't in very poor condition. I showed the photo showed the pop-ups, the video that you just seen showed it popping up. So to say that hardly any are functional, you know, as far as I'm concerned, is false. You know, that isn't true. But that kind of feedback is allowed. You're allowed to leave feedback without even contacting the buyer. You know, if I was disappointed with something that I'd purchased on eBay, I think I'd reach out to the buyer and hopefully take the benefit of the doubt that someone who has sold almost 8,000 items on eBay, which I have, has made a mistake. Now I'll hold my hands up. Obviously, I'm not calling this person a liar. There were obviously broken items in that book that I didn't see. Because I've seen that loads pop up, you know, taken photos of it, stuck it on the shelf until it sells. I don't look at that book again, obviously. But yeah, so why not contact me and say, I'm really unhappy about this? Fair enough. I actually responded to his message and said, you know, this greatly affects me as a seller on eBay. When you receive negative feedback, I didn't get a message from you. Please, you know, can you give me the opportunity to fix this? I can offer you a full refund, a partial refund if you're willing to keep it, which I'm assuming you are. But yeah, they responded and basically said, like, I appreciate you contacting, but, you know, bit of a rude response, you might argue, to say that as far as they're concerned, the only thing I have to do is accurately describe it and drop it off at a shop. You know, that is my job, according to them, and that they hope I take it as constructive criticism. Now, I will add, I've already mentioned that I have almost 8,000 sales on eBay, been on eBay now for about 20 years. They've been on eBay for 4 years and have amassed a whole huge 3 feedback. So, you know, they're not a very valued member of the eBay community, will you say? And I like to think that whilst I'm certainly far from big time on the platform, you know, I'm a fairly established seller. I sell things every single day on this platform. I contribute to eBay's ecosystem a lot more than that buyer. So I would say that feedback is a little unjust because they didn't take the opportunity to speak to me first, see if I could fix it for them. They just went and left straight negative feedback. Now that can hugely impact a buyer, of course, a seller like me. When a buyer is to go onto my feedback, see that and go, oh wow, does he lie about what he's selling? Like, is he misleading about what he's selling? And potentially that can be quite damaging to me and to eBay, because that person might not buy the item from me. I might be the only one selling it, and then they think, oh, I'm not too sure. You know, so obviously where I'm getting to is that I spoke to eBay, and as expected, they have said that it doesn't fall within the you know, parameters to be removed. And, you know, I was expecting that anyway. I just think that, you know, maybe that the feedback system is just a little flawed in that regard. You know, I personally think that maybe feedback should only be able to be left negative wise if you've gone through the channels of speaking to the person, you're unhappy with the way it's been handled, and then you leave negative feedback to reflect that. Is it right that they can just go straight and leave feedback about something without you even having the opportunity to have your say? I don't know, but I just feel that eBay, in this regard, they side with the wrong side. You know, we're the guys, the sellers, effectively, that are, without sellers, eBay would have nothing to sell, because we are the guys that are on there selling the items. Obviously without buyers, they'd have nothing either. But I feel sellers should be regarded maybe, you know, as slightly more important. I don't know. It doesn't get me down, because this is what it is. You're going to get things like this in all walks of life. You're going to have people that's their response will be, boom, not happy with this, oh, I'm going to tell the world, and that happens. But I just feel like it's a little harsh and not really reflective all the time on the seller, because obviously I don't intend to mislead anyone. I'm a full-time business on eBay. The last thing I want to do is try and rip people off, sell things that are going to ultimately leave people unhappy, because, you know, where does that put my business? But anyway, I just wanted to get it out there. Like I say, it's not always highs, it's not always lows. You're going to have both of them, and sometimes, you know, when they pop up, it's worth sharing. But I would like to hear your opinions. What do we think about the eBay feedback model? Is it fit for purpose? Is it the way it should be? Or is it maybe time for a little change? We'll see. But anyway, on to more positive matters now. Let's check out some things that sold this weekend. Yeah, I'll flick you around and we'll have a little look. So eBay is certainly up and down at the moment. I know a lot of people are experiencing sales or inconsistent sales or lack of sales or no sales days in extreme circumstances. But yeah, it's been very inconsistent for me. I haven't seen dreadful days, but there are some days where I'm just, you know, maybe selling 1-2 items, and then other days where it's just crazy, and you've got to wonder why that is. You know, consistency I would take all day long over a massive, huge day of sales. But I have got about, I think it was £529 worth of sales heading out today, so we'll show you a few of those. And I also got 130-ish, just over, I think, on Vinted going out, which is the best weekend I've ever had on Vinted. I am starting to put a bit more effort into Vinted because, do you know what? It's a very good place for buying and selling clothes, isn't it? Let's face it, it really is a platform that is doing things recently. So I have been putting more effort into there, and I've had some nice sales over there as well. So I'll pop you on a tripod, I'll fling a few things up, and we'll see. Again, I'm confused. I'm not confused. I'm undecided what I'm going to make the thumbnail. It's either going to be leading with a negative, which I want to try and avoid doing on the channel, really. I want to make this as positive as possible while sharing the negatives, but don't really want to be putting negative clickbait thumbnails out there. So maybe I'll lead with the niceties. But yeah, one in particular, like I say, that you'll probably be like, what? Because yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, let's pop you on the tripod and we'll show some sales. So then, what did we sell this weekend? I'm going to grab a few items, or a fair few. I won't show them all, but anything that's got a bit of value or something that you might not necessarily keep your eyes peeled for and look out and think, yep, that's worthwhile, I will show. Let's get the first one. And that is this. Now, nothing major value about this. Oh God, it's a book. I hope I've described the condition correctly. But the story of a wooden soldier, obviously got a fair bit of age to it, held together effectively by a piece of string. But yeah, really cool. You know, very old there. And it sold for £10. So nothing mega, but this is the kind of stuff where you think, you know, that probably 9 times out of 10, a lot of people, a lot of households, it's in the skip, and that is getting chucked. But actually, you know, it can sell on eBay for £10. We have got a Pro Quip Argyle print, like quarter zip golf top. Again, I was looking for that plastic thing name of it in my last video. I still can't quite remember. But yeah, Pro Quip is a half decent golfing brand, and that sold for £23.99. So probably paid £2 or £3 for it. But yeah, Argyle was quite a worthwhile, decent print, and just golfing clothing in general can fetch quite a bit of value. It's, you know, a huge sport. A lot of people out there play golf, and obviously you want some golf clothes for it. Now, these were really interesting because I got a message on Friday. I'll show you what they are. So there's little mini lampshades, but I got a message on Friday because I've got these listed as a pair, and then there's 3 pairs available. So someone messaged, whoops, oh mate, I'm back. Someone messaged and asked if they could have the dimensions, of which they were in the photos, and would I do a price for all 6. So I said that in the photos you'll find the dimensions, and yes, I'll do a price for 6 at this. And then they responded and said, oh, okay, they're a bit too small for what I'm after, or a bit too big, sorry, for what I'm after, because I think they said they wanted them for a double thing, so never mind. And then a pair of them sold within about 2 hours of that message. So strange how it all kind of pans out. But yeah, a pair of those has gone for, oh, why did I not get this ready? £16.99, so about a tenner once you got the postage and the fees off, for 2 little shades. Now, these I most definitely wish I hadn't picked up, because you may have seen these in any of my previous videos, because they've been sitting on a shelf over there for a long time. I was going to say some time, but a long time. And it is these. Now, they're like an enamel printed, nice floral kind of paisley style, but I don't know if you can see the dust on there, but they have been sitting for so long. I think I paid £6 in a charity shop for them, and I thought that was a great deal, but they just have stuck around for ages. And I think I've reduced the prices. I've sent so many offers out, but they've finally sold for £26.24, free postage. So by the time I've posted them as well, it's going to be at least probably about £6 to post. That was really not worth it, and I will certainly think twice about picking up any enamel pans going forward. You may have seen me pick this up in one of my videos. I think it was when I went to 17 shops in one day. This was bought in a British Heart Foundation shop, and it is an amazing brand to find, Paramo. I think it was £12, which obviously is, you know, certainly for me, quite a lot of money to pay in a charity shop. But yeah, cracking brand, Paramo jacket with the hood, breathable kind of stuff. I think it had like the open vents in the side that you can unzip and things like that. But that sold for, I did have it listed slightly higher, and then I brought the price down, and it sold quite quickly after an ending and selling similar for £98.99. So almost £100 for a second-hand jacket. Definitely a brand to keep a lookout for when you're out and about. Now I think this is one that surprises quite a lot of people because I don't think everyone would consider picking them up. But placemats, certain placemats can fetch some really good money. Now these are Pimpernel ones. Can't remember if it had it on the back. You will find sometimes they'll have like a little sticker on the cork backing. I don't think any of these did, but I obviously Google lensed them at the time. I don't know if you can see there, but there's a name. I think it's David Halliday, I believe it was. And obviously it's a certain Debbie Halliday, Pimpernel placemats. But yeah, these have sold for £31.49, and they've paid about another 17 odd pounds to get them over to America. So yeah, somebody really wanted these, but 31 quid for some placemats. I'm pretty sure I paid like £2 for these at a boot sale. So yeah, nice find. The first pair of shoes from my little 99p shoe haul. So I got the Lambvins. I still haven't sorted the Lambvins. They're still sitting there. One is cleaned, the other one still isn't. So, you know, that's still a job to do. Yeah, got the Zara's, and then I also picked up these Lacoste brown ones, didn't I? So I gave those a little bit of a clean and a little bit of a polish. And they have sold for £25. So yeah, 99p into 25 quid. Obviously, Lacoste, definitely a brand that maintains some pretty good resale value. This is definitely another one I want to show, and it is the, what was it, how do you say it, Isolde Roth cardigan. I paid pretty sure this was £8. It was brand new with tags. Got it in the charity shop, and that has sold for £47.49. So I assumed that when I picked it up it would go for around the £40 to £50 mark. I'm pretty sure I listed it at £40. I've obviously sent out a 5% discount, which is what I would generally do if there's a watcher in the early days of me listing. I'll send out a 5% discount, and someone snapped it up at £47.49. So yeah, really strong sale, that one. Now you may have noticed in the past that I quite like to pick up belts. Now not necessarily because of the brand or anything like that, but more so because of the design on some of them. So kind of, right, I'm pretty sure you're going to have heard that massive crash that made me stop in my tracks and turn the camera off, because Posty over here, not my usual Posty, don't know who he was, decided to deliver a package, and I've just watched it back on my camera out there. He's walked up the drive, and instead of knocking on the door, he's instantly looking around for somewhere to put the box, and has opened my side gate that goes to my garden and the side of the garage, and the wind has caught it and it's like slammed, and he's gone oops, and then closed it again and knocked on the front door. My car's on the drive, why is he not knocking on the door first? Very strange, very strange. But anyway, back to this belt. So like, as I was saying, the designs can sell these. Kind of got a bit of a kind of western design going on, you know, a nice kind of metal buckle. I didn't know the brand. It was Design Jobis. But obviously real leather and all that kind of stuff. I can't remember where I picked this one up, but I don't really pay a great deal for belts because not many people charge a lot of money for belts. Charity shops and boot sales included, you don't really tend to have to pay too much for them, but that's sold for £19.99. So it can be worth looking at for belts with slightly different style, bit of age, and the cool designs. Right, so on to the real interesting eBay sale that you know, maybe not everybody would see these and look for them. I can't even really remember now why I know a little bit about these. I probably just from seeing other people, but I have sold another one of these in the past for even more money than this one went for, but nonetheless it is a great sale. And this is it. It is a My Little Pony. God, I'm throwing everything everywhere. But the interesting thing about this, if you see its feet here, that means it is, now I'm certainly no professional My Little Pony seller, so I'm just confirming, yeah, it's called Mountain Boy. So when they've got these kind of textured feet here, it's the Mountain Boy. So this is the Tornado Blue, and on the bottom of these My Little Ponies, if you've never seen them or not picked them up before, there will be, if they are real legit Hasbro ones, it'll have the date on the bottom. So a lot of these will look quite similar, and then you look at the bottom and it just says made in China or something, but made in Hong Kong, 1987, which makes this a generation 1 My Little Pony. So that is almost as old as me, and it is looking pretty good for its age. You know, they can look better, and if it did look better, it would have fetched even more money, but that has sold for £94.99. £95 for this little bit of plastic. Insane. You know, toys are just so highly collectible. My Little Pony is no exception to that. There's some real big collections here. If I can find the other one on eBay, I'll pop up a screenshot here of the other one that I sold, which I think was probably within the last couple of years, and I think that went for more. I'm pretty sure that was over £100, that one. But yeah, absolutely chuffed to sell that. Again, I had this listed for a little bit more, and I ended it. I sold similar, reduced the price a little bit. It's obviously sprung this into anybody who has got, you know, a saved search for this, or watches my shop and has seen this in the past. It will spring those, you know, spring this item, let's say, into potentially new buyers' eyes, and it has sold $94.99 pretty quickly after the relist. Kev from the future here. I've just been editing the video and realised that I didn't say two rather important things about the pony. One being how much I paid, and two, what I'm probably going to thumbnail this video, just how much the return on investment of something like that is. And you know, the reason I mention it is because you can find these things that cheap. Now, I paid 50p for that My Little Pony. The reason being, and this is why it's like quite a top tip that I wanted to share and make sure I got in, it was mixed in with a load of modern My Little Ponies at the boot sale on a tarpaulin. There was probably 15 My Little Ponies sitting there, and because I know to look for the older ones, I was sifting through. They were all, you know, real modern stuff, some completely unbranded, and then there was two, like 19, I think one was this 87, was it? I think one was like early 90s. And the reason I say this is because potentially, you know, they're the mums, the older sisters or something, they've been handed down, then the child wants more, so they buy some modern ones, but they potentially do just all get mixed in. So it is well worth looking through, because from 50p into 94.99, that is, give or take, 18,898% return on investment. So it's 190 times in your money almost, or 189 almost, which is just incredible. And toys, you know, certainly old toys, can be one of those things that, you know, you really can find these diamonds in the rough, if you like, when you're looking at just a whole host of toys all on the floor. There could be just that one thing there, like that pony. So well worth keeping your eyes peeled for them. Right, they are the eBay sales for the weekend. There was a few others, but I'm not going to bother showing you them because they're not really that interesting. So I'll move on and show you a few of the Vinted sales, because what sells on Vinted? Can you sell the same kind of stuff? I only really list clothes. When I say I only really, that is all I list, and some footwear, of which a pair has sold. But some of these, the interesting thing is, they've been on eBay quite a while, and the way I list on Vinted, depending on how long it's been on eBay, it either goes on Vinted at effectively the same price minus the eBay fees, or it goes on to Vinted with a slightly extra little chunk off, because I'd be willing to take offers on it on eBay as well. So this is what we sold. The first thing that sold is a Berghaus jacket. Not mega money on this. This is sold for £15. I think I actually paid £6 or £7 for this in the charity shop, so not a load of money in this one. Wasn't the best buy, you know, it's not in amazing condition. It was in pretty good condition, but yeah, £15, and obviously with Vinted there is no fees whatsoever, so I don't even have to sort out the packaging. That all gets paid for by the buyer. Vinted give you either a code to take to a Yodel shop, or they give you a printable label just to stick on. You just don't do anything effectively. It just sells, you get the money once it's delivered. So very, very good platform. You know, they really have cracked what you want from... There was a lot of shouting going on out there. Yeah, they've really cracked what you want from a platform in regards to the simplicity. You want to go on, look at some clothes, press a few buttons, boom. You want to sell some clothes, you go on, you take a few photos, list it, boom. It's very, very simple. Yeah, they've done a great job in what they wanted to achieve. They've really nailed it. So yeah, the Berghaus, that sold at £15. We had a Whistles top, brand new with tags. You know, retail, this brand is pretty expensive. There is actually £49 on the label for this one, but it was quite a small size, wasn't it? It was extra small, I think. Oh no, UK 8. Yeah, so fairly small size. And it only sold for £8.50. So I paid £2 for it. So I was expecting maybe to get a bit more originally. So yeah, not the best. This was a nicer sale. So a pair of Under Armour golf shoes. So I spoke about the golfing clothing earlier. This fully goes into that same vibe. You know, golf shoes are very expensive to buy new. These would probably be in the region of maybe £80 to £100, I'd say, new. They're in pretty good condition. Bit of discoloration on the front, but obviously all pictured and described. And as well as, well, these are the ones, yeah, so there's a few even of the spikes on the bottom there have snapped, but like I say, all listed in there, and they have sold for £30. So £30 all in, no fees, no postage, nothing. 30 quid, and they, I think, probably would have cost me £4 or £5 at a boot sale. And then we've got the big sale that went on Vinted this weekend, and it is a brand that, unless you've been living under a rock, probably seen quite a bit of recently, because it's got a lot of exposure and a lot of desire to want the brand, and that is CP Company. So it's got it on the hood there as well, and I think what they're kind of famous for, the hoods that go over with those kind of black shade goggle things, which this doesn't have, but it does have this little similar vibe thing on the arm there. And if you look inside there, can I see? Yeah, it was actually still had like the little plasticky bit on there, so I'm pretty sure it actually never been worn and was listed as new without tags. I'd like to say I paid £15 for this. I'm almost certain the lady at the boot sale was asking for 20, but she had a few other bits as well. I bought some Reese polos and a few other bits and pieces off her, and that effectively then came in at £15. It's been listed on eBay a little while, and I listed it on Vinted only within the past week or so for 85. Someone offered me 60. I said no, lowest I'll go is 70, and yeah, they paid £70, so that is off today as well. But yeah, first time I've ever found CP Company out in the wild, but if you find it, it's almost a no-brainer to be picking it up, because the resale value on the moment on that particular brand, as well as the retail value, is very, very strong. So that is me for now. I think I will call it a day. I've showed you some decent sales from the weekend. Like I say, it's been very, very inconsistent. I can't recall if I put a screenshot up earlier, but you know, I'm having real ups, real downs, and a real up and a real down. You know, it would be nice to see a bit more consistency going forward. That's obviously what we're hoping for. But yeah, and obviously we had the issue about the feedback. You know, it's going to be stuck there now. 12 months until these negative feedbacks go. So it's not like it hits you and you can get over it. You know, it really does hit you for a very, very long time. So, you know, it is what it is. I'll leave a response to the feedback so buyers can hopefully see that, you know, I was willing to resolve the issue, and the buyer didn't let me. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please leave the like. You know, please leave some comments. If you obviously I've asked for your opinions on a few things, but yeah, I really enjoy reading through the comments and responding. Like that kind of interaction going on there. So if you could, that'd be awesome. And yeah, if you like reselling stuff, then please consider subscribing to the channel, because that is what we will be delivering on this channel moving forward, all about reselling. So yeah, thanks again, appreciate you tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one.